Hello, everyone. I hope you all are doing well. I'm so glad you guys could be here today because I have a massive rant and I'm annoyed at this dim-witted doofus named Prince Harry or Prince Dumbledore, Prince Idiot, the ginger-bearded doofus. I cannot stand this moron. But yeah, we need to talk about this. I know some of you all in the chat are talking about the whole Usher deleting all of his tweets and Pink deleting all of her tweets, but we'll talk about that in another video because I don't want to clash that gossip and that mess with this mess because this, I feel like, as condensed as I can to keep this video, I want it to really get out into the algorithm. So you guys, please hit the like button because everyone needs to know about this, especially with the amount of money Invictus Games are constantly being handed through federal government and provincial governments, or going to countries where the taxpayers are on the hook for this massive bill. And we don't even know exactly how the money is being spent. I think you guys know how I feel about Invictus with one of my many rants that I have already gone on about. But this one, my friends, I got to thank this subscriber and listener who sent me this article because I completely missed it. And when I read this article about Invictus and what is going on, it made my blood boil. Like, I got so pissed off because of the amount of money that Harry and his Invictus scam games are receiving. Things like this should not happen. Let me tell you what is going on. So a huge thank you to the subscriber who emailed this to me this morning, early this morning. I was awake and my phone started pinging. Let's talk about this because this is absolutely horrific. Okay. So this was posted this morning, early this morning, 7 hours ago, on cbc.ca News's website. And this is a station that basically it goes all through Canada. It's Canada-wide. But I wanted to bring some more attention to this here. So this veteran, this gentleman named Scott Snow, he attended the Invictus Games in Dusseldorf. Now, let me give you a little background on Scott Snow here. Let me grab my phone because I have it saved there. So Scott Snow is a retired corporal, and he's originally from Gander, Newfoundland. He was a diver in the Navy. He then transferred to firefighter with the Air Force, which led him to a rewarding career in special forces. Scott has been posted to Shearwater, Borden, Edmonton, Trenton, and Winnipeg before settling in Kingston, Ontario, which is now where he resides with his family. The highlight of his career was earning his position at CAN, CAN's Ofcom. I don't know what that is, but I should have probably looked that up. Scott's motivation to apply to the Invictus Games is to inspire his daughters. My kids were very young when I was released. Now my girls, Reese and Charlotte, will get to see their dad represent their country with a maple leaf, be proud of me, and will remember it. He is thankful for the endless support of his wife, who helped him pull through the dark times. Without her support, he says he would not be a part of Team Canada today. When he went to the Invictus Games in Dusseldorf, he competed in archery, rowing, and wheelchair rugby. Okay, so there's a little bit of background about him. So let me read you this article, because this made me so angry knowing already that we know the veterans who are participating in the Invictus Games have to pay for their own way. They all have to pay for their own accommodations, their own flights there, their own transfers there, their own like daily meals there, XYZ, everything has to come out of their own pocket, which I've always found ridiculous because if Invictus Games are receiving this many millions upon millions of dollars every 2 years from a different country, then the participants, which there aren't that many because the games have dwindled down to, I don't know, like 1,500 participants at most. Where before it used to be when it started, it was a huge event. It was highly regarded. But let's be honest, ever since Meghan Markle shoved her scrawny little legs into it, it's become, who knows? It's become completely shady. So while Harry and Meghan get all their expenses paid for and Meghan flaunts around in like hundreds upon thousands of dollars with jewelry, veterans who are attending these games, like Scott Snow here, have to buy their own medical insurance while serving members are covered. So if you're a retired veteran who is attending these games, you also have to pay for your own medical insurance. While serving members who are attending, nice wedges, Molly. I know I've been looking at wedges. I have an addiction. Once like nighttime comes around, I start looking at all the shoes I could be buying, but I never do anymore. So, to get back to this, so basically, the veterans who are serving, they're the ones who are covered. But then get this. So this gentleman went to the games because he wanted to show his daughters that, look, you can be proud of daddy so they can have a memory of him. Let me read you this because you guys are not going to believe what is going to what happened here. So a Canadian Armed Forces veteran who was a poster boy for Canada's 2023 Invictus Games team now says he is thousands of dollars out of pocket after learning he was not covered by medical insurance for injuries he sustained while representing his country. Scott Snow went to Dusseldorf, Germany to participate in archery, rowing, and wheelchair rugby. During his first rugby match, the wheelchair he was using toppled backwards, slamming him onto the court floor and injuring his head, neck, and spine. Now think about it. They received, Invictus Games received about, how much was it? The Dusseldorf Games received over 30 million euros. This man who already has injuries went to this game and got further injured while attending their events. Now listen, keep listening because it gets worse. It gets absolutely worse. And this is what has been pissing me off completely. Do you guys, let me see if I can show you the video. Hold on, let's see if I can grab the video here. Now, while that is loading, I guess. Okay, let me read this while that's loading up. So, nearly a year and 2 surgeries later, Snow told CBC News he has to pay thousands of dollars to cover assisted living arrangements and has been forced to abandon some therapy altogether for financial reasons. If Snow had been one of the serving Canadian Armed Forces members on the team, those expenses would have been covered by the CAF healthcare plan. Now, I don't think that's right at all. If you're going to attend these games, you should be covered regardless. There shouldn't be a two-tier program. You should all be linked, not ranked, as Meghan likes to say. This is insane. This is absolutely insane. Listen to this. Veterans on Canada's Invictus team are responsible for arranging and paying for their own insurance, something Snow and other veterans on the team said was never fully explained to them before they went to Germany. It's unfathomable that there is a two-tier system. Oh my God, I just said that. I should have kept reading. It's unfathomable that there is a two-tier system. If the person next to me got shot with a bow and arrow and I got shot with a bow and arrow, for the rest of their life, they're covered any expenses, any modifications, and I have to rely on my credit card, he told CBC News. Now I'm trying to see why this isn't loading, but I'll figure it out. I'm going to find it somewhere here so we can see, because there's an actual video of him getting injured. It shows him reaching up for because he was doing wheelchair rugby. He goes and reaches up for the ball and he completely falls backwards. But listen to this. His journey to the games in Dusseldorf was the subject of a promotional video produced to highlight the games. In that video, he discusses his two daughters, the 12 surgeries he has undergone for service-related injuries, and his battle with PTSD and depression. So this gentleman, Scott, already has a lot of injuries because he has required to have 12 surgeries already for service-related injuries. So they used this gentleman for a promotional video. And then when he got injured at their events, they were like, whatever, who cares? We don't care. We're not going to take care of you. You're retired. It doesn't matter if you're a retired veteran or not, or if you're currently serving. You should be covered regardless. This is bad for the Invictus Games. This is bad for Harry, the guy that claims to care about veterans. How many times does Harry need to show people he doesn't care about veterans? He only cares about lining his pockets with the grants that he can receive and the handouts he can receive under the guise of helping veterans. And yes, Penny Lane, it was the German games they filmed for their Netflix. Yeah, it was. And I bet you they didn't see any money from that either. Oh, I always have sirens going off in the background whenever I'm doing a live. So let me continue ongoing. The 43-year-old retired Navy diver and Special Forces operator from Newfoundland and Labrador said he applied to join in 2023 Invictus team so his daughters, who were too young to see him in uniform before his medical retirement, could watch him represent this country. When I received my letter, I cried. It was like my chance for my swan song. I never thought in 1,000 years I could get a chance to go out the way I wanted to, he said. I thought it was going to be life-changing, and it was. In his opening rugby match against the United States in Dusseldorf on September 10th, 2023, Snow was in a chair that did not have a restraint strap. So you're getting all of these millions of dollars and you couldn't even supply these veteran competitors with proper like seats and devices, and like nothing was safe, right? Nothing was safe at all. How do you put a person who has multiple injuries already into a chair that doesn't have a restraint strap? This is horrific. He told CBC News that he reached up to catch a ball and fell backwards. Video of the incident shows his head and back slamming onto the floor under the weight of his 250-pound frame. Snow finished the game unaware of the damage the fall had caused. Afterwards, he said he went to the team doctor and German medical professionals on site. He said they told him he didn't need an X-ray. That's horrible. Upon returning to Canada and resuming his physiotherapy for his service-related injuries, he said, his therapist urged him to get an X-ray to determine the cause of the loss of sensation and tingling in his hands and feet. That X-ray revealed a cervical spine injury. He underwent an operation to fuse his vertebrae together. His arms improved, but the tingling in his legs didn't stop. He said he learned later that he cracked his vertebrae in his lower spine as well, which required another operation. This is disgusting. Yeah, if you know what? Like, you got to read the fine print of that kind of stuff. You got to read the fine print to see if within the contract, if Invictus Games or any of the sponsors have been absolved of any kind of being sued or retaliation or anything. This is why they always say you got to read the fine print. This gentleman needs to get a lawyer. You need to go after the Invictus Games. This is horrific. This is absolutely horrific. And it's still new. You still have time. This is only a year old. So he needs to file it right away before the statute of limitations. Needs or you want him? He needs. He's been hurt. He's been injured, Brendan. He deserves compensation for his injuries that happened while attending an event under Prince Harry's name. The gentleman has had to undergo multiple surgeries, which he has had to pay out of his own pocket. What are you talking about? Idiot. Abysmal, thank you very much for the $50 super sticker. That is very kind of you. Thank you. That's so generous. You know what I'm going to do? You know what? We could do something here. I think we could do something. I'm going to reach out to this gentleman and see if he has like if we could help donate money for his costs and things like that. Let me look into that, okay? And I'll let you guys know, because this is absolutely horrific. The veterans have to pay their entire way. They have to pay for everything, and they can't even get basic insurance through the games to take care of them. Mary Taylor, you're right. This is the issue that I'm probably worried about, the waiver of liability in the small print. Yeah. But I'll take a look at it, because I have found this gentleman, Scott Snow's information, and I found him on Instagram. And if I can bring a little bit, like even a couple $100 to him through my channel and platform, maybe I'll say like one of the days we'll do like a fundraiser type thing. But I'll figure it out. But yeah, Airdrie, you're right. Those liability waivers can be challenged, but it's absolutely horrific. You claim that you want to help the veterans. This isn't helping veterans at all. DeLovely says no more donations for people because Molly, until you're sure you could get yourself. Yeah, you're right. No, trust me, I would make sure all of the bases are covered so it never comes back to me. Even if there's a way that the money could just go straight to the individual so that I don't need to touch anything, trust me, I've seen way too many dramas and stuff go down with things like that. So I would make sure all of my bases would be covered. Let me read the rest of this article, because this is horrific. So Canada's Invictus team is managed by Soldier On, a semi-autonomous CAF program. Soldier On helps ill and injured CAF members and veterans recover through sports, recreational, and creative activities. Veterans Affairs Canada also supports the Invictus programs by providing funding to Soldier On, including $16 million to allow Canada to host the 2025 Games in Whistler and fund the team's participation. Hold up. So didn't the amount went up by $1 million now? Because from what I recall, it was always $15 million that Veterans Affairs Canada has given as funding for the games. And now it's gone up by $1 million. And you know what's funny? And well, I shouldn't say it's funny, but let me show you how shady this is, okay? So Veterans Affairs Canada gave $16 million, now they're claiming, okay? So that brings the game to what? Because BC's government, John Horgan, before he retired and left office, he gave $15 million of BC taxpayer money to this. And remember, Vancouver residents, you're going to be on the hook for all of the security and everything that's going to cost you guys. And I wonder if Harry and Meghan have cut a check yet for the OT that cost Vancouver taxpayers for their previous jaunt here in February? I bet you they haven't. But let me show you this. So VAC gave $16 million to a group called Soldier On, right? So I went and looked up Soldier On. And what I don't like, first of all, so here's Soldier On, here's all their partners. They have lots of big partners who clearly are sponsors because their pictures are here, and About Us. So I went to About Us because I wanted to know more about them. And I was like, okay, well, let's see what they do. They have supported 12,000 ill and injured members using sports. And okay, well, you've been getting all of this money and all of these donations, and you've only can talk about 12,000 injured individuals. I thought the number would be much greater than that. Hold on a second. What's Brendan say? Did you not even read the full article to where it said the veteran criticized Soldier On, not the games, for mismanagement and said he was honored to Prince Harry? You are just making things up. Did you read the article? Did you? Because clearly you haven't. You're annoying me. Go away. I hate when common sense isn't common and an idiot comes into here and just starts. Oh, is the chat going too fast? Okay, hold on a second, Katie. I will slow it down for you here real quick from the back here. Guys, just bear with me for 2 seconds. So when I went to Soldier On, I always want to know about their annual reports and like who is a part of this organization. I think that is a good question to ask. I don't think there's anything wrong with me asking that. Everyone should be asking questions like that when it comes to these sorts of organizations nowadays, because let's be honest, we got to thank Harry and Meghan for basically showing us how shady these charities are, and that really no money is going towards the cause if we're really honest about it. If we're actually honest about what we're talking about, there is barely none of the money goes to the foundation, to the charities, to the people who it's supposed to help. So what I did is that I went and pulled up their report. Here is their 2023 annual report. And okay, so here's page 1. That's great. Don't care. Nothing. Oops, sorry. Nothing important here. I'm trying to find. Hold on, Katie. I'm doing it for you. Would 30 seconds be okay for you, Katie? Is that good? There we go. I hope that helps you out, my dear. So here's the first page. Here's the second page. Blah, 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 blah. Basically says what they do and that they're located all throughout Canada. And it says that Soldier On is led by a national manager, and the Ottawa-based Soldier On HQ staff is located within the CAFTG headquarters. Okay, so they're already based in a building that's already been, I don't know, it's already there, right? And then that is comprised of 2 subsections led by a senior manager operations and a senior manager outreach and communications. And then there are 9 Soldier On regional coordinators. So they have a lot of staff. When I go down, here's their chart of their staff. They have over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 26 individuals on their staff here. And what is happening is that what annoys me is that, number one, we don't see anyone's names listed. We don't see a breakdown of how much they are receiving. There was literally no monetary breakdown of anything. So you don't even know how the money is being spent. They just want you to look at this stupid little Microsoft Word chart that they make that anyone could make on, like, I don't know, what is that? Microsoft Paint or whatever. And I'm supposed to be blown away at 2022, 2023 at a glance, 2 international events, 765 equipment grants. You mean equipment that didn't have proper restraints on them? You mean equipment that weren't in good condition? You don't see any numbers. Event participation, 308 serving and 882 retired. How are you serving them when the retired individuals need to pay for their own medical coverage when they go to these events? Hmm? Hello, like, can someone please give me the answers to these questions that I am trying to figure out? Like, what is the point? This all just seems like a big grift for everyone while pretending that you guys are doing something good for the veterans, because you're not doing anything good for the veterans. You're not helping the veterans when they have to pay for all of their accommodation, when they have to pay for everything their own way. And it's not just $50,000 for the competition. You got to factor in your flights, your travel to get there, travel to get between the games. You're going to be hungry. You got to replace your prosthetics. You got to make sure, since up it's in Whistler, if you're coming from a warmer country, you got to buy winter clothes. This is ridiculous. So, like I said, a huge thank you to the individual who emailed me this article early this morning, because this, like, more people need to talk about this. See, there's no number breakdown. You know what all of these stupid little graphs remind me of? Remember that ridiculous report Chris Boozy put out with the red scribbles, and we were supposed to believe that it meant something? This is exactly that. What are any of these numbers supposed to mean? I want to see how much those individuals, those 27 staff members got paid. I want to see how much they got compensated. But no one is sharing that to me. No one is sharing any of that information. Let me finish this article here, because this is so, like, Vancouver people, you can definitely contact your Vancouver mayor and complain to him about this, because your tax dollars are going to be paying for Harry and Meghan's security. You need to find out, have Harry and Meghan cut a check for the over $40,000 in overtime that was charged to Vancouver taxpayers. Oh yeah, they only paid $10,000. Horrible, absolutely horrible. It's disgusting. So let me continue reading this. The Whistler Games will include skeleton bobsled, alpine skiing, and snowboarding. Snow said that his recovery has left him unable to navigate the stairs in his home, forcing him to move into a retirement home costing almost $5,000 a month. He said he also suffers from problems with vision in his left eye that developed after hitting his head in the fall, but had to stop vision therapy because he can't afford the cost. Since my injury, there is not one person that has picked up the phone from Soldier On, even though I've emailed them, I've called them. Not once have they reached out. Okay, Brendan, so what were you saying? What were you saying there? That, oh, he had nothing but nice things to say and they contacted him? What were you saying? Yeah, I thought so. Snow blames Soldier On and its officials, who he says never fully explained to him that veterans needed to have health insurance to cover medical expenses for injuries incurred while competing. That, personally, myself, that shouldn't be something that the veterans need to worry about. I think the Invictus Games, with the massive multi-million-dollar cash injections that they're getting from governments every 2 years, you can pay for that. You can cover that. These games are supposed to be about the veterans, right? Well, it doesn't seem like it. It definitely doesn't seem like it's about the veterans. He continues on saying, it was just a passing point. We were never taken aside to explain, and most people that were paying attention to it just assumed that their credit card insurance or their CAA insurance would cover their health insurance, he said. CBC News has spoken to other veterans on the 2023 team who share that view. They said they never got a briefing on the insurance they needed and assumed regular travel insurance would suffice. Insurance is mentioned just once in the 30 pages of the Soldier On document explaining the terms and conditions for participating in the Invictus Games. The document says veterans should consult with their personal insurance organization to confirm they are individually insured and have applicable health coverage, and that costs for any additional health insurance purchased will not be reimbursed. The one line in the document dedicated to serving CAF members tells them simply to have their Blue Cross card in their possession. The document for the 2025 Games contains identical language. Canada sent 31 athletes to Germany in 2023, 12 serving CAF members and 19 veterans. In 2025, Team Canada will consist of 22 serving CAF members and 34 veterans. Okay, so Veterans Affairs Canada has given, which is now $16 million as opposed to the $15 million we were originally told, has given these games for these members, right? For only how many members? 22 members? For only like a handful of members? This is such a freaking scam. Like, it is crazy how wild this is. It has definitely turned into the Meghan Markle ugly clothes show. From the moment Meghan inserted herself from making a speech on stage, could you imagine being a veteran who served their country, being spoken down to by a raggedy ex-cable TV mattress actress trollop who is best known for giving BJs and getting banged up against a filing cabinet on Suits, is telling veterans, I'm so proud of you and your accomplishments. I'm so proud of you. Like, who the hell are you? Who are you? Absolutely disgusting, in my opinion. People should be complaining about this. People should be raising absolute hell about this, especially you Canadians. The money that you guys could be putting back into your own pocket is going to Harry and Meghan and this ridiculous game that basically other executives from these foundations are siphoning money into their own pockets. Because I'm willing to bet that each of those executives and other underlings are probably pulling like a 6-figure salary. Maureen, you're definitely right. What right does the tramp have to even give that speech? She had no right. There was no reason for Meghan to be talking to those veterans and giving them a speech. It wasn't even required. Like, you really didn't. Hold on. I've got the video here now for you guys. Let me close all this. Okay. Let me show you the footage because you guys have to see what happened to this gentleman. And keep in mind, he's already had 12 surgeries. Okay. Let's see if you guys can see this. Yep, it's big on my screen. Okay, ready? So
doesn't go for the key on that occasion. Looks all the way over. Miss pass over Martinez's pass all the way over.
Look at that.
Looks all the way over. Miss pass
Oh
over
my
Martinez's
goodness.
head.
Oh my goodness. And the wheel completely fell off too. What kind of garbage chairs were they using for these people? Like, look, this is horrible. Oh, let me bring it back.
Doesn't go for the key on that occasion. Looks all the way over. Miss pass over Martinez's head. How good was that? Tony Smith crossing.
I see, like, he got up right away.
This pass is a touch of class.
Yeah, his head bounced off of that ground. And he wasn't helped by anyone, if you guys noticed. He got up on his own. I think it's because at the time when you're competing, you've got the adrenaline going too. Oh my goodness, look at this.
The key on that occasion looks all the way over, missed pass over Martinez.
I don't see anyone helping him.
How good was that?
How, like, nobody. Look at this. Here you go. Two Team Canada rest.
Missed pass over Martinez's head.
Here's a security individual here. Team Canada slowly walking. Nobody helped this gentleman. Nobody helped him get up afterwards. This equipment is not regulated equipment. If anything, the backs on these chairs should be higher. But nobody forces the veterans to participate. So if you are hosting an event for veterans because you want to show them that once they're done with their service, that they can still strive to be something great, then it should be safe. Then it should be 100% safe. The fact that you are coming in here and trying to put the blame on the veterans, individuals who are already injured and were injured in service, like Julius, are you like, did you fall and hit your head? This is the most dumbest thing I've ever heard. If I saw this gentleman fall over like this, my ass would be on that floor as fast as I could. Oh, here we go. Brendan says, if it was higher, wouldn't that have hurt his back? And if it was the chair, would have that been hell? Listen up. I don't know if you have seen those wheelchairs, but there are ones that the backs do come up higher, and it's like a cross-hatched kind of material. It's soft, that at least if something happens, then you're protected. I don't know. Where are you from? Did you just crawl out from under a rock somewhere? I don't get it. Katie, thank you, my darling. She says, thank you for spreading awareness. This makes me sick. Yeah, the fact that you claim that you're doing this all for the veterans and to help them, but you don't even give them the basic insurance. You won't even help them out for that. This is absolutely ridiculous. Molly, please look into some sort of fund for this guy. I'm more than happy to donate and share as far as possible. Yeah, I'll definitely look at a way, because I know that there is all that hoopla around donations. So I want to set it up where it goes straight to him. You can donate straight to the gentleman so that my hands don't have to be involved or anything. And that, that's the best way to do it, so that I will advertise it on my platform, because that's not fair. Like, you got further injured by going to an event, and you need vision therapy, and you can't even pay for that anymore. The fact that these retirement homes cost so much is ridiculous to me. It's crazy. I'll definitely look into something and I'll let you guys know for sure. But I feel so bad for this gentleman. Wait, is that Harry? Look, that guy looks like Harry. Oh my God. That guy looks like Harry, but it's not Harry.
Tony Smith crossing.
Yeah, he just got up. Nobody helped him. You would think that, like, okay, you see him fall, he hits his head, you would like take him off of the floor and get him checked out right away. The fact that they allowed him to just get back on the chair and just continue playing, in my opinion, could have exacerbated his injuries, could have made it a lot worse. This is horrible. Let me see what else. So they didn't call, they didn't allow them to know. Let's see what he says here. I feel so bad for him. Let's see what he says.
So I thought I had.
No! Bad. Oh, God, I don't want to hear the music. I'll get like a copyright strike over the stupid music here. That's the last thing I want on this video. Stop talking. Here.
Appropriate coverage. So I thought I had the appropriate coverage. And when I got back, I needed eye therapy. So during the games, when I hit my head, I got a concussion and my vision was a little blurry. So they recommended that I do an eye therapy, which is equivalent to physiotherapy for your eye. And when the news came back, it would end up being $350 a session for 10 weeks, plus you have to buy the lenses and glasses. So I asked the team, I called and asked if we were covered or is there any expenses, and they said no, you got your own insurance. So I just assumed I'll call my insurance and it'll be taken care of. And I called my insurance, two of them, and they both said no. International sporting events aren't included in your insurance. I mean, most Canadians know that bungee jumping, parachuting, the extreme ones, but unless you specifically say certain things, which no one explained to us at all what exactly to get or why to get it, and most people on the team are injured and vulnerable. So it was just a passing point. And it just so happened that I was patient zero.
I feel so bad for this guy. That's horrific. You know that these veterans are already injured. Your game basically was made around enriching the lives of veterans who were injured through combat, and yet you won't even give them basic insurance. 100%, Scott. I think you should definitely throw the book at the Invictus Games and the what is that, Soldier On. Throw the book at them also. Yeah. Get yourself a good lawyer, buddy. I'm sure someone will definitely take your case, and don't let it like pass time. This has already been a year since it's happened. So I hope you find a lawyer and you definitely take Harry, the Invictus Games, to task, because I'm sure waivers were probably signed to participate, but I'm sure he could get some kind of settlement, right, to make him go away and be quiet. And yeah, what does he have to lose? If he can get like some kind of under the table deal, why not? Molly, can you explain if Warrior Games do anything differently, please? Well, we haven't heard of any injuries like that with the Warrior Games. I've only heard glowing reviews about the Warrior Games, but I will look more into that. That's a really good question. That's a really, really good question. So I will really look into that, and maybe I'll make a whole different video on how Warrior Games treats their athletes compared to Invictus Games and how it treats their athletes. Look, I'm writing it down. Warrior Games versus Invictus. Yeah, I'll definitely do that. Did you hear that? That was my pen. But I feel bad for this gentleman, and I wanted to bring this story to you guys so you know what is going on, because I'm sure it's going to get buried. I'm sure it's not going to get the attention that it needs, and it definitely needs attention. Now, the rest of the article, because just to be fair, let me read the rest of the article here. Is he the only one, Molly? I think he's the only one that has spoken out. Yeah, Gary, I always have such a difficult time remembering how to pronounce his last name. Gary's foundation is the best one because it actually goes to all the veterans. So let me just finish this here. So the Invictus Foundation says the responsibility for ensuring competitors have sufficient insurance for travel, equipment, and health, both home and abroad, lies with the participating countries. Why is that? How does that make sense? Why would the participating countries have to ensure sufficient insurance, travel, and equipment for health? Like, I thought they were using... What is the point of the Invictus Games and them getting all that money then? It's always easy to put the blame on someone else. And we see that Harry is very good at laying the blame on someone else's doorstep, just like he has with the whole backup people and African parks mess that's going on, that he's just continuing to ignore. The Department of National Defense told CBC News in a media statement that participation in the Invictus Games is a voluntary activity for both currently serving and retired CAF members. National Defense said team members are encouraged, in quotations, to get insurance to ensure they are fully protected during and after the event. We recognize this may differ from practices in other countries. See, like, you can't be so broad about it. They're being so broad about the entire thing so that they don't have to take any blame for what has occurred. D&D said it is working with Soldier On and its partners and health insurance providers to determine what additional coverage could be implemented to ensure that there are no gaps for the participants after the events. How about giving them all insurance? You are getting all this money from the government. I'm sure you can give less than 500 participants insurance coverage and you can still write it off. This is absolutely disgusting. This is so gross. This is so bleh, makes me feel dirty. You're just using the veterans. You're using them and abusing them. That's all Harry knows what to do. Just like how he uses and abuses and constantly desecrates the memory of his mother. They're doing the same thing. All these people who are sitting on the board and that have these so-called charities to help veterans, they're not really helping veterans. It's really all about the handout, the grift. You get multi-millions of dollars in benefits and grants from the government under the guise of helping veterans, but we still have veterans who are struggling. We still have veterans who don't have proper housing. That now $16 million that Veterans Affairs has given to Soldier On, and we don't even see the breakdown of it. That $16 million, which was first reported as $15 million, could have helped so many veterans. You know how many veterans you could have paid for their housing for a year to put them in a warm place? It is so gross. Jennifer says, Molly, it's not complicated. The law of torts and negligent acts cover this. In my opinion, contract law is superseded here for failing safety issues. Yeah, you know what? You could be definitely right here. You could be definitely right. But it's up to us to bring it to surface. It's up to creators like myself who have a platform to bring this to the surface and let other people be aware of what is going on. Yeah, Jennifer, I completely agree with you. I totally agree. Yeah, it's like come back down to reality, Mole. As a Canadian, Jane, you have every right to see where the money was spent, and they're still getting funding. But the veterans who are participating in these events have to fund their own way. How disgusting is that? This just shows you how privileged Harry and Meghan are. And while they are going around siphoning millions upon millions of dollars from different governments and getting handouts and taking taxpayer cash, they are still complaining like they are victims. They're still complaining like their lives are so hard. I said it, you Americans should be pissed off that their tax dollars, especially Californian tax dollars, are going to pay for Harry and Meghan's security. You think the Biden government hasn't given them security? They definitely have security. Brendan Wright says, it says the article was posted only 10 hours ago, so it should spread like fire when it spreads across social media and to the press. Yeah, I'm hoping it does. Hi, our recollections may vary. Okay, guys, so I wanted to jump on here and bring this to surface so that everyone can know about it. I'm going to go and post about it now and post the article on my Twitter page because I know people were like, stop leaving us in suspense. Just tell us what's going on. But yeah, I hope you guys will share this video. I want to keep it under an hour so people will actually watch it. I feel like when lives tend to get more than an hour, the viewership numbers kind of tank. So yeah, guys, thank you so much to all of you guys for being here. Please like and share the video and just get the word out. I will go on my X account and my YouTube community page and share the actual article so you guys can also share it on your social media pages on X, Twitter, Instagram, wherever. We need to let everyone know what Invictus Games are doing and how they don't even care about their veterans. Because if you cared about your veteran, you wouldn't allow this to happen. You wouldn't allow it to get so far that he had to get the media involved and it had to come to my front door, basically. Anyways, my friends, thank you so much for being here. I will catch you all in the next one. Say thank you to our mods for the incredible job they have done. And let's not let Invictus get away with treating the vets badly and siphoning money into their own pockets while lying to our faces about helping the veterans when they aren't. Anyways, my friends, I will catch you in the next one. Take care. Bye.